Who talks about Armada 2.0, I swear to God I will come for you.
Saying that they are surprise mechanics, and people love surprises.
To get a Baneblade, the plastic Baneblade, to sell in the store at ROE Games, 19 Park Lane, Havelock. Come by, see us.
Aoski here, and this is By the Numbers.
This week we're going to be going over character creation for Wrath and Glory.
My name is Keith, or you can call me ArmorBoy21. That's my gaming deck. Today we're going to learn D&D.
Oh, hello there.
Your armor, sir?
Whoa!
You take 7 points of damage.
Alright guys, we're rocking out really hard tonight. So what we got going on is Crease.
There will be swearing and or shenanigans of the adult nature.
Damn it!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Gamer Interrupted. My name is AJ East Coast, and I am your host. Yes, it's me. It's been a while since I've been on. Believe the last time that I was on, we had Johnny Comic Books on. That was a great show. Please make sure to check out that show. But tonight, we're doing something very familiar. We have Doc Shippey and Griffin joining us tonight. It's an Enter the Gamer party. We're all back together. I think haven't been back together for a long time, I think, guys.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I know that much.
I had the same view of that. I think the holidays really took over.
Well, I hope you guys had a good holiday. Dan, as we've let the viewers know that you've been out there, working hard and training and keeping us safe. So thank you, as always, for that. And we see your nice
hard working.
You see your nice barracks room over there in the little Marine Corps plug. That's nice.
Good. It's 29 palms.
But Dan, to start us off tonight, before we get going, I believe you had some housekeeping for us.
Yes. For everybody, thank you for tuning in to us. It's awesome to be back and with AJ and Griffin. So big things going on at ETG Actual. It's a new year, and for those of you who've been following us for a while, it was about this time 2 years ago where I got the gang back together and formed ETG as it is today. So big things coming down the pipe right now. Working behind the scenes, doing my Doc Shippey things, trying to get the best product for you guys, our viewers. Working with a bunch of local game stores in the area. A lot of them are excited to be working with us and hopefully getting some content to you guys. So stay tuned for some more live shoots from our Rules of Engagement games. And I just want to give a special shout out to my home away from home out here, Tabletop Heroes, which is the only game store around the Palm Springs area. So mad love to them. Other than that, I got to say, we're up to 274 or 47. Math is hard. Followers. Thank you guys. And 3,050 live views. We can't do that without you guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. That's all I got. What's the topic of the night, AJ?
Well, before we get started on those, just some housekeeping on my end. If you guys are new to this, every week we just do our news. We talk about video games, some obscure topics, and we rant a lot. We go on some crazy rants. AJ rants, especially. Doc will have to go on some. I have to tell him, hey, remember we're on a podcast, and pull him back in. Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight. But if you are in the Orlando, if you notice up here in the top right corner, Fit and Prep Delivery, our new sponsors. New shout out to these guys. If you guys are in the Orlando area, definitely look them up on Instagram. Amazing meal prep and food delivery. And they've been keeping me in shape and keeping me looking good. And it's amazing too. It's fucking one of the best. I love the taste. But anyways, before we get started, just a little bit, some sad news on this topic. The passing of Mr. Brody Lee, also known as John Huber. He was a movie star and WWE wrestler, as well as recently AEW wrestler. passed away at the age of 41 to a non-COVID related lung injury. He was just working out and felt his chest was hurting, went to the doctor, and, next thing you know, there it is. So, God bless him and his family. May he rest in peace, Mr. Brody Lee. He was just coming into his prime, but he was also a huge gamer. He loved, they had a show called Behind the Elite on YouTube. It was kind of like just a behind the scenes thing for All Elite Wrestling. And he was always talking about video games on there. And he's also kind of a really goofy guy. But he played a very serious guy on TV. So just wanted to give him just a little bit of recognition here tonight. But Griffin, now we move on to a little bit more, well, maybe kind of positive topic. I believe you got some for us tonight.
Yeah, so the first topic we really have tonight is Wonder Woman 84. I personally have not watched this film. I've heard through the Vine that it's not as good as it was put out to be. And that being said, I haven't watched a Marvel or a DC movie in like 3 years. Ever since Disney took over, I've just kind of been out of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's understandable. A lot of people have said that they didn't, that same thing since Disney took over. They haven't been watching. What about you? Have you get a shot to watch Wonder Woman yet, Doc?
No, I haven't. I've gotten a lot of mixed reviews about it. So my big thing is, I honestly feel like DC is trying too hard.
Oh yeah.
They keep falling back on the Snyderverse. They keep trying. They're not listening to their fans, and that's if you notice, that's a big issue that Marvel had before Disney took over and started the MCU. So if DC trying very hard to do this DCEU, the issue they're having is they keep trying to force Frank Miller down our throats.
Right.
And in today's day and age, we don't want Frank Miller style comics. We don't want a Frank Miller Justice League. We want more of the 90s animated series Batman. We need a Batman and a Superman that inspire hope and have some lighthearted moments, but are serious. And the movies just aren't dark. And I don't mean dark as in tone. I mean dark as in it's visually dark.
Yeah, it is. And the close-up screen, I remember seeing Superman versus Batman, or if it was the other way around, I don't remember. It was so in theaters, and I was like, oh, I'm just watching this because, I'm up close in the theater. But then I saw it later on DVD, and it was still that same up-close camera. Like, I didn't want to see a picture of Ben Affleck's beard the entire fucking movie. But I do agree with you, Doc, that they are trying way too hard to be something that they're not. And also, come on, guys, let the fuck go of, what happened 2006 to 2008 with, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises and stuff like that. It's never going to happen again. That was good how it was, DC. And, stop trying to get that back. You're never going to get The Dark Knight. It's never going to happen. So just let it the fuck go. And I think, and that brings me to my point, what they did here with Wonder Woman is that they played off the good success off of the first Wonder Woman movie. And, and I was talking about this today, and I'm sad to say this, but I'm sorry, I'm starting my AJ rant early. But they focused on the sex appeal a lot on the first Wonder Woman. Beautiful girl, beautiful woman, she's on here, and a lot of people liked that. And they tried to play off that again. It didn't work. It was just weird. It was weird. And then they also tried to play off of the fucking weird obsession that young America has with the early 1980s. And I blame a lot of that on Stranger Things, but that's a cool thing in my opinion. But at the same time, you called your movie Wonder Woman 1984. You made it flashy like how Thor Ragnarok's trailer was. You played off that,
and that's the thing, though, is they were trying to compete with Thor Ragnarok, because if you look at how the Suicide Squad did and the Harley Quinn movie did, they kind of had that same kind of flashy, cartoony style, and they were going for something like that with Wonder Woman 1984, and it just lightning doesn't strike twice, and you have to reinvent the wheel sometimes. And for DC, they need to get back to their roots. Like, they need to go back to the Bruce Timm Paul Dini era of comics and animated series, or just let the guys who do the animated series take over the movie.
I agree with you because at this point, what are you watching? And it was awesome. Think about this. Also, HBO Max, they put it on HBO Max for free for subscribers, Griffin. And on Christmas morning, you could watch it. I know I talked about it for like a week before. I said, I want to go watch it on Christmas morning. I heard guys, people were talking about it at the grocery store. I heard them talking about it, saying they're watching it Christmas morning. I bet kids were excited to watch it Christmas morning. And then you unwrap this present that was nice and looking from the outside, and then from the inside, it's a piece of shit. It's a cheesy piece of shit.
For Christmas.
Yeah. You got a pair of socks.
Socks
from
and
grandma.
underwear, homie.
Yeah. But it was a cheesy piece of shit, Griffin.
Mm-hmm. I have no interjections there because, like I said, I'm not really a DC fan. I've not really ever been. Like, my two favorite characters out of the Marvel universe was Spider-Man and Hulk. Other than that, I just really don't keep up with that stuff anymore.
It's hard. It's hard to, but it's funny that you say that, because moving on to our next topic, Doc, I've got the whole list here of all the new upcoming Marvel movies and TV shows.
Propaganda. That's all it is.
Yes, big old
you're talking Marvel.
big propaganda. Okay. Lots of But Disney, as we know, has been taking over the world. Didn't they just acquire another company? I can't remember who it was, but I think they just acquired someone else.
I can't remember who. I think what.
But
who was it? I just remember it too.
But I'll have to look that up in a little bit. But starting the most information that we have, guys, we're starting with WandaVision, and if you guys have seen the trailer, it's kind of like that 1950s. They're kind of reimagining Vision and Wanda in a different world, and I guess they're kind of going for like a sitcom-y thing, like, to play off things like I Love Lucy and popular stuff like that.
Wanda is the strongest Avenger. That hands down, it was shown in the movie.
Yeah.
And for me, what I'm seeing with this, everything they're trying to do with this series, is this is her having a mental breakdown because Vision is dead. So I think this is her building her own world, and that's why it has that cartoony 1950s sitcom-ish feel. But I'm almost willing to bet this is going to tie into the Doctor Strange and the multiverse. And all the future Marvel products. I wouldn't be surprised to see if this spins off into the Spider-Verse and everything else that Marvel's been talking about.
Well, from what I was reading, Doc, it's interesting you bring that point up about her, having mental breakdown, is that they're going to explore more than just the 50s. They want to talk about the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and it's her kind of seeing Vision in a way that had she had met him during these times, this is what she would want for her and her relationship to be like. Right. I know you didn't say you had too many opinions about Marvel recently, Griffin, but how do you feel about them kind of integrating this whole mental health aspect into the show?
It's kind of weird. Like, I'm starting to think, like I brought this up in a last podcast, not the very last one, but in a recent one, that the way the day and age is working is the entertainment industry is trying their hardest to blend in with this new society that we have going on. Like, they're more coming with the LBG community, the whole entire mental health, and it's all good things, but the thing is, when you push it too hard, the mental health is always good. The LBGT, I like the acceptance. But when you make the whole entire stories about that, I don't like that, because it kind of takes away the root. But I do like that they're starting to blend in with us more. I like that aspect. And I found out what Disney just took over. Disney took over Fox. That's what it was. Fox.
Century 21. Yeah. Sorry.
But no, you have started to see a lot of the integration of a lot of the social issues, and I agree with you on that.
I mean, it's going to happen. Society has to adjust, and the entertainment has to provide entertainment for what we want to see, and we do want to see some of that stuff come up. But it just comes down to the entertainment industry trying too hard. Have you ever seen that? We were just talking about how DC tries too hard to compete with Marvel, and they keep on forcing these agendas on it. Well, a lot of the entertainment industry, in my aspect, like, tries to force things too hard.
They ruin it.
I'm not saying like more specific. I'm just saying, all together.
Well, from that point, I'm hoping that Disney doesn't screw it up in that aspect, that they push it that aspect too hard. Also, that they focus too much on the comedy, and we forget here that this is, like Doc said earlier, the most powerful Avenger, because she is. She's crazy. She's crazy good. They literally depend on her in multiple movies, you know. But moving on, most notably some other shows that are coming: The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is on the other end of the spectrum, the more serious of the series. You know, that we explore the relationship between both of them. And Sebastian Stan, and Anthony Mackie are confirmed they will continue their roles, so they won't be recasting anything on that. I think we might see a little bit more about what happened there at the end of Endgame, maybe a little bit. And then, but are we continuing on?
I will be looking forward to seeing that. I already want to see what happens after Endgame.
Are we continuing on directly from Endgame? I'm not sure, you know, so we'll have to wait and see some of that information.
From what they've been saying is it's probably most of these Marvel shows are picking up right where Endgame ended.
Where it ended, yeah.
So the Loki show literally is him getting snatched out of his little time warp thing that he likes to do.
Yep, I was just about to say.
Owen Wilson's in that one.
Mr. Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, yep.
And then with WandaVision, that's also immediately after. And I'm trying to remember. Falcon and Winter Soldier picks up with who's going to be Captain America type of deal.
Yep.
Which is going to be pretty interesting.
And then we also have the Black Widow as well, the Black Widow movie. And this is kind of like it's tying back to some of the ideas explored in Avengers, but not too much, you know. Kind of, it's still that big origin story that we didn't get to see, more than just that. If you guys remember in the first Avengers, maybe, or even it might have been Iron Man, that little tiny clip where they explained it. But that was out of the rest of the 10 years. Everyone forgot the fuck that she had, and other characters like Hawkeye, that they had backstories, you know. So kind of at the end there, they're like, yeah, they do. They have backstories. So here's the backstory movie. And then most notably, guys, Spider-Man 3. And I know you guys, what have you guys been hearing about this? I've been hearing some crazy stuff since our break.
This is
Spider-Verse.
This is the Spider-Man 3 where all three actors are supposed to come back, right?
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. There was like one after another, Doc. I know you were keeping up with it on Facebook a little bit. But Tobey Maguire, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the new guy.
Freaking Tom Holland, yeah.
Forget it. That's it.
He's not a real Spider-Man. It's always Tobey Maguire.
Always been Tobey.
Always been.
I'm hoping that he's a little bit chubby too. Like he came back a little chubbier. I hope that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, just like in the animated one.
Yeah.
You know, where he's all just beat to hell, tired. Because I don't know about you, AJ, but I personally related to that Spider-Man.
I mean, the third one for sure, when he was going through his little like tired breakdown. I mean, not to the point of where I wanted to dye my hair black and dance funny, but
no. To the Spider-Verse, freaking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, of course. Which, by the way, Into the Spider-Verse, if you haven't seen that one, incredible movie and wonderful soundtrack. Incredible soundtrack.
Amazing.
Yeah. Griffin, I believe that is all of the show. Well, not all of them, but at least most of the most notable ones. Out of all of them, which ones are you probably most excited for?
The Spider-Man one, of course. That was my childhood. I mean, we're talking. I don't have like the TV shows. I don't like TV shows. Like the only TV show I really watch right now is Dragon Ball. And you know, like I said, I'm stuck on Dragon Ball right now. Like it's like a borderline unhealthy addiction to Dragon Ball right now.
I've heard that happen sometimes with Dragon Ball.
But as far as Marvel, DC, superhero go and kind of thing, Spider-Man all the way. I've been a Spider-Man fan from the beginning. I don't really watch the new ones per se, but if they're bringing back Tobey Maguire, I'll definitely watch it.
Oh yeah. All right, Doc, what is our next topic for the night?
I believe it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Here we go. No. Yes, getting into the game part of Gamer Interrupted.
Hold on, I need to stretch out for this one.
Well, before we get started, question. Have either of you guys had your hands on the game yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have as well.
I boycotted this one.
I'm playing this one on Xbox One currently. I have intentions on playing it in the later gen consoles, but we'll talk more about that later. Griffin, you're smiling. I'm gonna let you take the reign on this one. What's going on? What are your thoughts?
Shit on this game is what's about to happen. So bad. Sony offered a refund. Like they said, hey, like we're sorry. If you want your money back, you can have it back. Like that's how bad it was. And now when it released, there was a whole entire like console war. Like it was like, hey, PC players were just shitting on console players, just saying like, hey, that's what you get, dumbass, for not having a high performing machine. And then they're like, well, I got a PS Pro, I can play it just fine. Well, I got a first gen PlayStation, and let me tell you what happens when you try to go across the map. So you'll be driving in your little car, and the map's huge. Like,
yeah, it's large.
The content in the game is great. I will say that. So the content in the game is great. There's just tons of shit to do. There's so much shit to do that you will literally get lost as doing shit. Like you can just play hours upon hours upon hours, right? But it doesn't come down to playing the game like that. It comes down to the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
And that's where I was getting at. You'll be driving this car across the god-awful fucking large city, right? But your PS4 can't render that fucking city. So the buildings aren't like loaded in. The doorways aren't loaded in. By the time you drive, you're literally driving so fast that your GPU and your PC, whatever the graphics is, it won't keep up. And so sometimes when random things will spawn in, I can't tell you how many times I've driven down the road and a motorcycle flies across the fucking screen. And I'm not talking about like a little jump. I'm talking about it looks like a fucking spaceship and it just crashes into a fucking wall because it spawned into a stair. Because it's literally graphics and shit like this that's happening. And I was like, well, you have to ignore the glitches to play the game.
But here's the thing. I'm giving them a little bit of a benefit of doubt from the development side because it's not like you said, you have the first edition PS4. It wasn't intended for that. It wasn't even barely intended to be on this generation, but then they realized also, they're not going to be able, they're going to lose players and if they put it just on the next gen, but also when they foresaw that all these people were not being able to get the next gen, they still push it out. Now, on the opposite end, I've been playing on an Xbox. I have experienced some of the glitches, like I've had to restart some missions. They've gotten stuck, stuff like that. Things that they said that would not happen, and I will agree with you on that. They said this is not going to happen, that our game doesn't have these kind of things, that you're not going to have to experience that. I haven't seen what it looks like on the next gen. I don't know if that's happening. If it is, that's fucking bullshit. But if it's not, okay, then it is. That's fucking bullshit.
I'm not trying, but if it is happening, it's bullshit.
Yeah. But on my end, I've had fun with the game, though. I will have to say that, and I'll be positive here. Yeah,
I can't play it anymore. Like it's too much for me right now. I'll play it. I'll give it another go at PS5. From talking around from fellow gamers and fellow colleagues that play the game, the consensus is, from what I've heard, is like if they add in a multiplayer, like I feel like it would save the game.
Yeah, I have heard that too. Like the Grand Theft Auto multiplayer.
Don't say those words, guys, because what's going to happen is it'll come out with a battle royale, and that'll be the only reason why people play it. Just like Fortnite,
Cyberpunk Royale. Fuck me.
Call of Duty.
Don't say that. Fuck.
You see, we don't condone this, video game companies. Just ignore that comment.
No, we don't like that. And if you, especially on this channel, we fucking hate that. I play one battle royale and it took me years to even think about it, and that's Warzone. And I've said it 100 times. I think Warzone is the best game out there for battle royale and free to play, in my opinion. But besides the point, back to Cyberpunk. Fucking Cyberpunk, it sucks because they said they didn't want these things, and
let me jump in here. As you well know, I boycotted this game.
Yeah.
Because I am not a fan of all the hype CD Projekt Red put into this game. And just trying to keep, every time they pushed it back, they'd have some new excuse, which I'm okay with. Just tell me you're pushing it back. But then don't cause controversy as to keep the game in the main focus. That's what my beef with the CD Projekt Red was. Now, I feel bad for them at this point because they wanted to come out with a polished product. So I would rather have a game get perpetually pushed back until they have all the kinks worked out. I mean, I'm a Bethesda fan. I'm used to some glitches here and there. I mean, I'm used to, falling through the world in Skyrim and, things not working right in Fallout. But
Your helmet going up somebody's ass on accident.
Exactly.
But it just did.
I don't fault CD Projekt Red for the glitches that came with what happened, is because that's the fan base. I blame the fan base for that, because they sent death threats to the developers. They were putting them on blast. They were bitching and moaning, and this is what you get. You got what you wanted. You wanted the game to come out early. You get a half-finished product. I believe it was the creator of Nintendo that said he would rather have a game wait because you can, put out a game late and it be great. A bad game is always going to be a bad game.
And there's the majority of the consumers and the fans were doing what you said, Duck. They were on that level of, hurry up and put this game out because of the hype. I said it on here before, fucking wait. You should have never, ever given us a date. You should have said we're ready when we're ready, because I turned on my Xbox the other day and it said, hey, for Xbox One players, you can't even play the fucking game today because they're not even done with the updates. But like you said, they did that to them. They did that, and at the same time, they did shoot themselves in the foot.
Nintendo does it. If they have a game that's not done yet, they aren't going to release it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, we have this game. It's coming out. We don't know when it's done.
That's what they did with Animal Crossing. They put out the trailers, they put out the stuff, and people were like, when is that coming? I don't know. And then they had the balls to drop it on Doom Day, which was awesome too. But it sucks that it came to this level, but when people say that they couldn't wait, and it starts to make you wonder that the bugs and the things that are in there, is it because of that? Was it because of the pressure? Was it because of those stupid ass, I don't know if you guys heard, they were forcing them into those crazy ass work hours, even working from home on top of that as well. But, what I did enjoy about the game, that they said, if you're new to this kind of experience, if you haven't heard about it yet, thank you for taking the time to look at what we're trying to do here. And I liked that they put that aspect into it. And I will say this: it's performing better on Xbox One and it makes me wonder, maybe they put a little bit more focus into that.
I think it's just because I have a very old fucking PlayStation.
But it's still if it's having issues on the other gens, like they said they wouldn't. Unfortunately, it will be fixed, and people are going to continue to play them. But this is the first time I've seen someone have to go back and fix a game that is just story based and just open world based. I haven't seen that before.
This isn't the first time that something like this has happened. I mean, look at Star Wars Battlefront 2. Released a half-finished game. Everybody got pissed about it because they were going to release it in DLCs, and then they fixed it. But No Man's Sky, there's the perfect example.
No, I'm saying it's something
so overhyped, and it wasn't finished. And then when it finally came out, everybody's like,
"Look what happens!" Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
So,
but
that right there should be game developers' warning signs. Right there is that, hey, you should have like a No Man's Sky checklist. Am I doing this?
A Hello Games checklist.
Am I doing this? Yes. Am I doing this? Yes. Maybe we should delay the game more.
And don't fucking tell people a date. If you can't get it done by fucking Christmas morning, don't have it done by Christmas morning. Say it's coming soon. Say it's coming 2021. That new Harry Potter game is coming soon. I think it's coming out in February. I'm hoping it is, but we don't know that. We didn't even know that Spider-Man Miles Morales was happening until they fucking said it at the showcase. So don't say a fucking date. Don't get people all hurried up on this. And that also pushes it to the game designers and developers now to they're like, oh, we have to meet this day, otherwise this happens. And what I was saying earlier, Dan, is the first time I've seen this on like a game that doesn't have anything to do with multiplayer. That where this isn't the focus on multiplayer. This game is focused on exploring the city and role-playing through the city, and it still had issues and still had problems, even when they cut the size of the fucking map in half. But
I mean, and I have to say this though: the CD Projekt Red falling on that sword forced, and honestly, I think this is why they did it. Is it forced all these other games that are supposed to be coming out, Far Cry, and all this other stuff. Can't remember the other games that got pushed back. There's so many coming out.
Too many.
It forced that companies to be like, whoa, people are pissed. Maybe we should take our time.
Yeah.
And now I'm okay. Like I said, I am okay with a company being like, guys, we need more time. Don't want to push our guys to the limit, everything. Like CD Projekt Red, they were sitting there on Christmas Day. So imagine that. They had we were all military, so we know what it's like working on a holiday.
Yeah.
But these are game developers. It's not like what they're doing is life and freaking death. They're just making things so people can play and have fun. Like, there's no reason why these people should be losing their holiday because a bunch of spoiled brats want to play a game that they forced the developer to put out early.
Well, what the best that I can say is, on that is definitely, if you haven't bought it yet, wait a little while, wait until this shit dies down, because in my opinion, it is a game that does need to be experienced. It's from the outsider's perspective, and especially new gamer perspective, they see it as a future Grand Theft Auto, which it is. It is a future Grand Theft Auto. It's
very
just,
much so is.
And that's something I thought was really cool. Griffin, you mentioned a little bit of the mechanics earlier. From what I noticed, some little here and there little nudges that they put in, I really like. I walked into a bar because I chose the Street Kid path, obviously, but I like that there's the 3-path option, that you got the Mad Max option, the Street Kid, the corporate one, and each of those has new beginnings each time. For you don't see that at the same time for each one. You see different storylines and things like that. But I walked into a bar and the character turned around, looked at me, and began the conversation. I didn't have to walk up to him and press X. That option was there, but if you notice, sometimes the characters will just ignore, like if you're ignoring them, they'll notice that. They'll start, conversations with you out of nowhere. The craziest thing, I was just walking down the street, I punched right in the face. It scared the shit out of me. It looked so real. And, I like the gunplay, the moving around every single corner, and literally every single corner, Doc, they're moving around, and I really like that. What have you noticed, Griffin, on your side playing it?
So there's two aspects to this. There was the hatred side, and there was the I like this game side. The hatred side, like I said, I noticed like flying motorcycles, me trying to walk up a door and can't get into the fucking door because it's not loaded. That's my own fault. I have seen what it looks like on high-end PCs. I have seen what it looks like on PS5s. My friends got it for
but not everybody's got that.
Exactly. Nobody's got that kind of money. I don't have that fucking kind of money, so that's why I don't have a high-end PC. I just got a fucking PlayStation, a low-grade laptop. But, the game is playable. It is, like I said, if you want to enjoy the game, you just got to ignore the fucking glitches. My dad fucking plays it. He's fucking playing the hell out of it. At the very beginning of that, I didn't understand what the hell is going on. I kept asking my friend, what the fuck is this game about? Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to just go run around this world and cause mayhem? Or is there a quest line?
I think that's what they were going for.
I don't know. We were in a party together, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. But then you keep going on, and you find the quest line, and you're like, oh, shit, okay, there is a fucking main quest line. Okay, cool. We're just going to follow it. Kept on following it. The best thing about that is I'm a sucker for Easter eggs and, funny fucking content. Right? They have a fucking mission on there that has about suicidal auto driving cars, and they all got different moods and shit. There's this funny fucking gimmicks, dark humor to the game that I actually enjoyed. You had to wait in the DMV line, and then you're allowed to jump ahead in the DMV line, and then everybody's pissed off at you, and it's just so funny. So there's good content on it. There's not the worst fucking game, Fortnite, that's available. But at the same time, it's just the mechanics is just it's a little off. It's funny, trust me. I laughed my ass off when I fucking saw the goddamn motorcycle fly across the screen, and it wasn't just one fucking time. It was 20, and I was like, God fucking damn it, what is that? Because it scares the shit out of you, because it don't come down easily. It just fucking hits a wall, and everything goes to fucking shit. And you're like, damn, what was that? And it's oh, it's just a motorcycle driving itself.
I will tell you one thing, Doc, that they did focus on that you would like is that they focused a lot on the immersion of roleplay. They want you to really feel like you are doing this. At one point, I felt a little bit more Street Kid than I already was. I loved that. Like, you know, so I know you like to do that a lot of times, you know, when with your show, what was it, the Call of Cthulhu and all that stuff like that. So the option is there if you really hardcore role play to video games. I know a lot of people did that with Skyrim and things like that. There is the option there with Cyberpunk.
I'll eventually get into it, probably when it's on like sale for $20 or something.
That's a good recommendation.
Well,
I'm like you, AJ, at the beginning. I wasn't really hyped about this game in the first place. I like what they were trying to do, but everything the company's personal politics is what killed it for me, and I can't support a company that, you know, doesn't support their content and has to try to overhype it to keep it relevant.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I believe you had some Star Wars news for us. I have a few different things.
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
So, oh my goodness. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the Rebel propaganda. We're just going to talk about The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Real quick. I'm going to throw the spoilers thing up real quick. I say we talk 5 minutes about anything of spoilers for our recorded listeners that are going to listen to this later. So it is currently at 21:40 hours. At 21:45, we will resume the regular talk about it. But we will talk spoilers and things like that. So if you don't want to hear, just don't listen from here for that 5 minutes. Put it on, put us on mute for just a little bit. But I'm going to throw the spoilers up real quick. Now, holy fuck, Dan.
Oh my goody goodness.
First of all, the end alone. The end alone.
AJ, you know me. I'm not an emotional guy.
Yeah.
I don't get emotional. I got emotional.
Well, we know you get emotional over Star Wars.
Right here. It hit right here. First of all, the entire fact that... So Dave Filoni and freaking Jon Favreau, just amazing. Amazing. You can tell these guys are Star Wars fans. They're nerds. Not like Rian Johnson, who hates Star Wars and wants it to die. But you could tell that these guys wanted this and that they were working towards this since the very beginning of the season. And to watch it all come together in this amalgamation of just pure awesomeness.
Yes. Every episode was just what you sat down. For me, I was waiting. What am I going to experience this time? Holy shit, Jon Favreau, you are a wonderful fucking dude. Fucking an incredible writer, incredible producer. You fucking saved Star Wars. You alone made sure that people continued to go back to Star Wars, in my opinion. Yeah, Dave Filoni as well. Yeah. But
so for me, with everything that's been going on in Star Wars, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau sitting there and coming up with this is for the fans.
Yes.
You can tell because they are fans. And part of what makes these episodes so good is it's not just the high-speed episodes for like the tragedy where Boba Fett's kicking ass and or the rescue at the very end where you have all this stuff. It's the little things in between. And for a perfect example, Bill Burr has
I fucking love him, Bill Burr.
So, number one, brings the Boston accent to Star Wars, makes it canon in the universe.
In a far way, kid.
Yeah, far way. Hey, I'm going to go stop at the Donkeys before hitting Tatooine. But me was, that entire story arc was better than the entire story arc they gave Finn of 3 movies.
Yeah. And that motherfucker was in 2 episodes, Bill Burr was. 2 episodes.
So it had a better redemption arc than Finn did in 3 movies.
Well,
Secondly, it's the third woman, the frog lady.
Yeah.
Her reunion with her husband was easily the most adorable thing ever.
It was. And they didn't say a fucking word. They just smiled at each other and spoke whatever. Frog noises. And then they bring back Ahsoka, or however you say that.
Ahsoka Tano, yep.
And first of all, Rosario Dawson, holy shit, well done, because you portrayed that so well. You showed the real emotion behind her. I could see pain on her, which there's the cartoon series. There's only so much you can do with a pen and paper, but that real emotion that she brought and brought her to life was fucking amazing, and that was incredible to see. And it was an experience every time. They took their time to tell the story, like you said, because there were episodes where you're like, nothing really crazy happened in that, but then it led up to when those crazy shit did happen, when she pulled out the white sabers and started cutting off everybody's fucking arm, or when Luke came back, which, by the way, I loved the comparison that Luke did to his father and Vader coming in and murdering all the fucking rebels. I loved that. If you guys noticed that one, I loved that little nod to that. And that's what you said. They're paying attention to things like that. They're paying attention to the fans. They're paying attention to the fact that Anakin Speeder was one that was used in one of those episodes, and they pay attention to the lore. Everyone knows you don't take the fucking helmet off in certain aspects of the Mandalorian. And I love that they brought in the other aspects that there are other ones that do. I love that they talked about that, because people could have just forgot about those fuckers.
And for me, tying it together and then bringing Boba Fett and making him the badass we all know him to be. For me, I've read all the Boba Fett books, so I knew how much of a badass he was going into this. But seeing him, Tamora Morrison, just beating the ever-living fuck, the monkey shit out of Stormtrooper, the gaffy stick, just made me feel like I was 12 watching Empire Strikes Back again.
Fuck yeah.
Perfect.
They did so well the whole time. After all Star Wars, it just took, 2 guys and 2 seasons to put all this together. And, the guest stars, every single one of them were great,
And I don't know this, AJ. Roberto Rodriguez, who did the Boba Fett episode where he kicks, I think it's the tragedy.
Yeah.
Because he staged that. When he did that, got that scene, he sat in his backyard with his kids and choreographed the entire
That's incredible. I love that.
And his little Star Wars action figures. That's how you know that these guys are real fans, is because they have this shit at home.
Yes.
They're like us. Seriously.
They're playing out those fantasies that you sat there watching at the end of the shitty Star Wars movies, those fantasies that you thought were going to happen. They're sitting now and playing those out and figuring out how they're doing it, and also at the same time incorporating space cowboys. That's fucking awesome too. I love that the first season played off, mimicking just after our American Civil War. I love that they mimicked that. And then the whole thing with Giancarlo fucking his character and the Darksaber. Okay, so that was 5 minutes. We can't talk any more spoilers.
Is the villain in everything right now.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
And I'm so for it. I'm so for it, because he fucking did a good job. Because like I said before, Griffin, I don't know if you remember that the way that he can just like move emotion on his face, it just keeps you guessing. Like all he has to do, he just move right here and emotion changes, and that's
Never seen the
Star
Mandalorian.
Wars. Not seen the Mandalorian. Well, that brings me. We can talk about just how good it is now, because no more spoilers, guys. I'm gonna cut that.
I just learned a lot. I have not seen it.
But Doc, we found out eventually at chapter 2 is coming. So if you haven't seen chapter 1 yet, or chapter 2 of the story, as in this is now Boba Fett's turn. We're gonna exploring that.
Boba Fett. No, that's a whole different.
It's
a whole different.
I
thing.
love that,
That's
because I was like, yes, keep going, yes. And then who knows, Griffin? Maybe we'll come back to Pedro's character and we'll see what he's doing in the next one after that. I can only hope.
I don't know who Pedro is, but we'll see.
The Mandalorian, the picking up Baby Yoda. But
but
overall, wonderful job on the entire show. It made me so hype to keep going back every Friday and watching the episodes. and in, you know, talking about them, it's brought the community back too, guys. It brought, you know, people are talking about this stuff again, and that's awesome, because the last time they talked about this stuff, you know, it was fucking terrible. They talked about awful shit. They talked about how shitty Star Wars was, and they shit all over the universe and shit how bad it was to be a Star Wars fan. It made you feel like shit for even watching these.
Johnson.
Yes, it led to the point where Doc got us legally in trouble. Like, fuck, but you know, they deserved it still. That's another thing.
One cease and desist. It wasn't even me.
But you know, but some more Star Wars news. Moving on, we're gonna be seeing some more Star Wars shows, particularly in general the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hayden Christensen is coming back, though. He has the chance to redeem himself, because for some reason he decided to become an actor at the last hour of the fucking series that he was alive in. I don't know why you waited that fucking long when they gave you the entire fucking second movie and half the third one to get it together, and you waited until the end. But you can redeem yourself now. This is your chance.
Hayden Christensen, I think it's just he's finally matured as an actor. Like, he was very new when he went into the Star Wars movies, and I can't really blame him. Looking back at those movies, there was so much other stuff going on with them. The chemistry between him and Natalie Portman was wrong. They should have found better actors that played off each other. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Natalie Portman. It wasn't there, and you can't force it, and that's kind of what they were trying to do. I think him coming back will be good for the series, and I'm interested to see what they do. And I mean, we got Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan, so I'm happy. I think most of the fandom is happy, so we'll see what happens with that. But I believe, being as we're coming close to the last 10 minutes, Griffin, didn't you and AJ discuss the game of the year?
We did.
And one of you guys called it.
No, neither one of us were right. Neither one of us are right. Neither one of us were even right about what the nominees were. Because, like I said earlier in the podcast, I was going for Call of Duty Warzone because of how much it changed the Battle Royales. You know, I was just thinking logically from that perspective. And I forget, what was your pick, Griffin?
Oh, man, I think I picked Ghost of Tsushima.
That's right, Ghost of Tsushima, right. But that did make nomination. It did make nomination, yeah.
It did. But the game of the year being The Last of Us 2, I just never thought that was going to happen.
Well,
I very much disagree with that.
I also do too. I knew it was going to be nominated, but I didn't think it deserved the whole year.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, was it really that good? Like, I haven't heard much about it.
I mean, it was
nobody at work talking about it. I haven't heard much about it.
It was it was
a
art.
Small group of my friends absolutely love it, and they're raving about it.
Yeah,
I couldn't even get into the first one, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's so good!" And I love Naughty Dog games, and just playing it was just like.
I think it's just one of those things that if you didn't hop on the bus back then you know it's hard to understand that now. But even like you said, Doc, back then I didn't really get into it either. But I thought the game was good. I thought it was a good game and it played well. But
aesthetically, it's beautiful. But then again, aesthetically, so is most of the Star Wars games they're coming out with.
Yeah.
But they're all pieces of turd, except for Fallen Order.
Not bad.
We're not going to go there.
Squadrons it's I don't know.
Don't get me started. We only have 10 minutes, AJ.
But guys, the other nominees that they talked about: Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, Ghost of Tsushima. So Griffin was right about that one. Hades, Animal Crossing's New Horizon.
I think I said Animal Crossing too.
Yeah. I thought they were going to give that one to Animal Crossing, but then I thought, you know, what would it look like if they gave Nintendo 2 years in a row, you know?
Nintendo freaking deserves it. They should get.
They do deserve it, but
now, like they've been doing, they should get it.
But overall, guys, I'm really surprised about the picks and also the final pick this year. I don't know, but
I agree with Griffin. I definitely think Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
everything about that game was flawless. It was a Dark Souls clone. Yeah, aesthetically, it was beautiful. Gameplay didn't make you want to bash your hand with a hammer.
I still need to finish
it. And actually had a solid story arc.
Yeah, it did.
The
So
multiplayer aspect too was like a twist in the wind. Like I didn't expect it to be that good.
It was so cool.
exactly.
It was so cool. And I honestly, I would have thrown my hat in for that pick too, if not Animal Crossing New Horizons as well.
Doom, though, come on, you got to give. For me, like sitting there watching Doom evolve into this juggernaut of gaming, it's like yes, yes.
Well, I mean, it made the list as well, so it's doing its thing. And the fact that Doom is on Switch is awesome. Yeah. Well, speaking of Switch and Nintendo, they bought they acquired Next Level Games, their studio, the studio Next Level Games. Nintendo made that acquisition. First time in a while we've seen them do something like this. They're usually pretty quiet about that kind of stuff, and they usually keep a lot of stuff in-house, other than obviously stuff like Pokemon and Doom and stuff like that. But a lot of stuff is in-house, so it's interesting to see that. So we'll see maybe a little change in dynamic with the acquisition of that. They're kind of following suit after, Xbox and PlayStation doing a lot of their large acquisitions these last couple of years. But go ahead.
In the console, this most recent console where Nintendo killed it.
Yeah, they did. They won.
They came back from nothing. I mean, after the failure that was the Wii U and the abomination that was the Wii, you have arguably the best system on the market that you can actually still buy in stores.
Yeah, you can still get one. Fuck. It wasn't like that. We remember the inflation at the beginning of the pandemic, but they fixed it. They went ahead and fixed it. They made sure that you can still get it. And
the thing, though, even at the beginning of the pandemic, you could still buy Switch Lights.
Yeah, you could get the Lite.
They were there.
You could get them, yeah. But by the way, that brings me to another side point. Don't ever throw away Nintendo. If you have any Nintendo, keep it for fucking ever. Especially the Switch. If you have a Switch, fucking keep it. But
so Nintendo on all of their game systems has a support number.
They do. You can call it.
Still man.
Yep.
And they will refurbish anything you send in.
And they've killed it, and they came, swinging at the end, and that's not opinion based. That is true. That's fact. More people bought Switches. More players went on it. They had a huge inflation of games. They made more money than everybody else. And look what's happening now. I think we can end on this topic. You cannot fucking get a PlayStation still. You can't get you can barely get an Xbox Series X. You can't get a PS5. Guys, it was in my cart. It was in my cart in Walmart.
Best Buy at work, and I was trying to get that thing.
It was in the cart, the electronic cart, I should say. The pandemic cart. It was in the cart. I couldn't press pay. It wouldn't let me fucking buy it.
Fucking ridiculous.
Fuck, dude. Who would have thought that we would be here, Dan, at this level? Who would have thought that you would not be able to go to the store or even online purchase these new products that we've been waiting for what? It's been 3 years since they announced that they were doing this?
It's so terrible.
What about the fucking kids on Christmas? I'm sure asked for it back in fucking September. Mama, Santa, I want a PS5 for Christmas. What did you get, an IOU? Santa gave you an IOU?
That's what happened.
Fuck Sony. Fuck Microsoft. What the fuck, guys?
And fuck them kids. I want one.
I want one too.
I kept on pressing refresh. They had 2 drops today, GameStop and Best Buy. And every time I would go, I literally was in the same fucking boat as you. I put it in the fucking cart. Best Buy has this awesome process where you have to wait. You click on purchase or buy now or something like that, and they put it like a little gray bar. It's like, please wait. And then once it loads up, you can add it to the cart. And then they put this nice little thing at the bottom of the menu that shows you how to work this menu. It says pro tip. For trying to buy this, go ahead and try to check out as fast as you can. I'm just like, this is fucking ridiculous, man. Like, figure this shit out.
Well, my biggest gripe with this thing, guys, my biggest gripe with this is that they came out and said after the whole thing about the pre-orders and that they didn't have enough pre-orders and people were doing like the pre-order, like scamming the pre-order system. When Sony and Microsoft came out and they were like, oh, we didn't see this coming, or we didn't foresee this. Well, why the fuck not? What the fuck do you mean you didn't see this coming?
We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. What do you think people are doing?
Everyone's inside. We talked about it 100 times at the video game company that because of the Switch and Nintendo, that sales went up through the roof. You don't think people are gonna do the same fucking thing for the better? I mean, I wouldn't say better, but the bigger consoles, the ones that can do things like Cyberpunk.
Especially around Christmas time, everybody wants one. I'll tell you the reason why I want one is my fucking old ass PS4 over here, almost a PS1, is lagging so hard. I can't download a game and stay in a party because it will lag me out. That's how fucking outdated it is. That's why I want a PS5.
So do I. Because at this point, it's not, I haven't even purchased any new games for PS4 in a while, and I don't want to, because I want to play it on PlayStation 5. I want to experience this. I'm more than anyone, I want to experience the fuck out of Miles Morales, the game, and I haven't played it yet.
Like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
All I gotta say.
But why didn't you see this, Doc? Why didn't they prepare for this? Why didn't they see this coming? You just said, "Oh, we didn't see it coming."
I don't know.
And then
it just irritates the shit out of me. Like, I see them, like, if you type into Google right now, if you go, because I did this all day, I swear to God, AJ, I've done this all fucking day. If you type in PS5 for sale, 3 things are going to pop up. One is a blog site where they use affiliate links to get actual fucking money. Like, the affiliate links provide money if you buy the console from their link. Like, they'll send you right to GameStop, but they get a commission charge for referring you there, essentially. You'll get a good old like news article like when will it be an update. And my personal favorite is all these fucking scalper websites that sell them for $680, $850, eBay $1,000. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It is. You know something's wrong when the place where you can buy fucking sneakers is selling PlayStation 5s for $900.
Exactly.
But and to finish off my rant. To finish out my rant here, you guys are fucking Sony. Like, you guys are Xbox. You need to pay attention to the fans. You need to pay attention to what's going on. You need to prepare better for something like this. You saw the success of the fucking console war beforehand. You saw what happened with Xbox One and PS4. People rushed out. Why did you not prepare, especially with the pandemic? And don't fucking blame it on the pandemic either. Because
the substantial growth over the year of the PlayStation and Xbox consoles, substantial. Everyone's got it. Yeah. Everyone and their fucking mom has got an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Doc, close us.
PS5, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One X, whatever.
Close us out on your thoughts, Doc.
There is hope for us because Sony and Microsoft, they realize this. They realize. I've been staying up to date on this because I'm trying to get one for myself and I'm trying to help people out that aren't having one. I'm trying to keep them updated as well.
Our careers depend on it.
That they fucked up. Like, they're like, yo, we did not have enough inventory for all this. So now they're mass producing. I think it's something in 11 million units being produced right now, beginning of the year.
Good.
So we could be expecting a massive drop within this week. I know GameStop and fucking Best Buy had drops today because I was in both of them. Didn't get one. But they're on their way. It's coming, and Sony's realizing like, hey, like we're about to really be capitalizing off this if we can produce enough units. So it's coming. We just have to be a little bit more patient on it.
My thing though is this is what happened. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is exactly what happened with the PS4. So you can't say Sony didn't see this coming because when the PS4 first came out, the same exact thing happened.
You're right.
That's why I said earlier. You saw what already happened. Why did you not prepare? You cannot blame the pandemic. You cannot blame the fact that you did not see it coming. That's just fucking poor everything.
What they're doing, they're dangling. They're dangling that treat in front of everybody. Hey guys,
I don't know if we're gonna see this. I don't know if we're gonna see them in stores for a while.
I don't
think that day that you'll see them in Target is not going to be for a long time. It's God knows.
And most websites, they say that you can't pick this item up in the stores. You have to purchase it online and go get it at the store.
I don't understand. Well, fellas, that is the end of all of our rants and our discussions here tonight. Those are all of our topics. I know you. Well, we can keep going if you'd like. We can still go.
Hey, it's only 7 where I am. It's up to you guys.
10 o'clock.
We can finish out. I mean, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about, me personally, was that HBO made the partnership with Warner Brothers that now their movies that are coming out in theaters will also be available in-home same day on HBO Max. That's the only other topic that I had. How about you, Doc? Anything else?
Thanks for watching. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys.
Griffin, any other topics you want to talk about tonight?
Just keep all those people trying to get a PS5, Xbox One, X. Keep trying. They're coming. They're coming.
Well, fellas, I am going to cut over to our. Actually, I'm going to cut over to you guys first. You can say whatever you'd like. The floor is yours. I'm going to find us somebody to raid and all that goodness. So the floor is yours, Doc and Griffin.
After you, Griff, what you got?
A game recommendation I played, like I said earlier in the stream, I've been playing a shit ton of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. If you have not played it, give it a try. It's amazing. I have no life to. I chose that over Cyberpunk 2077. Try it.
You didn't look back.
Did not. I literally played the shit out of it.
I've been playing a lot of Warhammer Total War 2 right now. So if you guys are big into RTS, it just came out. What was it? They just had it on sale on Steam for like 75% off. It is simply amazing. If you're a Warhammer fan, if you love 40K, definitely pick up this game. It's worth the money.
All right, guys, I'm going to cut over to our shoutouts page. Thank you so much to ROE Gaming in Havelock, North Carolina. Rules of Engagement Gaming. They've been there for us from the start, and they're going to be with us forever, and I'm so happy for that because they're great partners to have around. Check out our episode that we did with the co-owner, Jesse Olinger, is on Apple as well. Shout out to Hybrid ATX Summer Camp, Sam Gonzalez, the owner of that, building better gamers for kids. He wants to do an updated episode as well, so keep your eyes out for that. The Orlando Wizard, shout out to his YouTube channel. Him and I just completed our review of the Player One bar. I sent it over to Mr. Editor-in-Chief Dan, and he gave it the approval. So keep looking out for that. We will be posting that soon on our Facebook and all of our social medias. Shout out to Modern Programming. They're modernprogramming.com, a game developer company. Our buddy Chris, our very first episode we did with him, the developer of Anti-Pong. They are coming out with multiplayer. So they're working on that right now. So multiplayer for Anti-Pong. And of course, shout out to Fit and Prep Food Delivery in Orlando. Look them up online. They're awesome. Their food is incredible. My favorite so far has been the shrimp and grits, if you're listening to Henry. Our VIP fan for the month of January is Winrider. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for coming by all of our streams and checking them out later. Our newest fans for the month, Rems98. Thank you for following. Sarah Southwest and Nimbus 2020 1978. I thought that was a very interesting username that you went with 2 different years there. That was cool. Shout out, of course, to Sono Kid, one of our partner streamers, Austie Champ. Shout out to him. If you need some comic books, head over to comicheaven.net. Also, Floppy and the Sleepy Planet. They're looking out on coming out on for their video game soon. We also had an interview with them in our game dev series. Shout out to the 76 operators. They're still operating throughout the pandemic, virtually online for veterans, supplying things like free video games through Games to Grunts and things like that. Lastly, shout out our episodes and more can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts these days. You can follow myself at AJ_East Coast on everything. Head over to etgactual.com to read up some more articles, and I believe Dan is doing some facelifting on that, so looking forward to that as well.
Working on it. Slow going.
You guys give us your usernames that you would like for shout outs. Dan, yours?
Got nothing. I just gotta thread some love to the game stores. So once again, some love to Tabletop Heroes out here in 29 Palms. They are fantastic. And of course, Rules of Engagement Games, my home away from home.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we will see you guys next Thursday. This has been a wonderful night catching up with everyone now after the new year. We'll go back to our regular schedule and everything but that is it. My name is AJ East Coast, and I have been your host. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for coming by.
Never game alone.